Hey everybody, this is Kyle with AttackOfTheFanboy.com. I am here actually in my hotel room at E3 2017. This is the end of day 2. I got to play some Ni no Kuni 2 as well as see a presentation with a representative from Bandai Namco. There wasn't anyone from the development team on hand, but we did get some really good information about the game and I got to play it. So I am a huge fan of the first Ni no Kuni. I thought it was a fantastic JRPG, and just being a fan of Studio Ghibli, obviously it was a really cool experience getting to play a game that kind of had the same styling uh, as those movies. And it's clear that that has continued with Ni no Kuni 2. I was kind of worried that it wouldn't. Obviously, Studio Ghibli is sort of gone, maybe back. No one really knows. But the people that worked at Studio Ghibli and that worked with Level 5 to make the first Ni no Kuni are still around. I have their names actually. I took some notes here. But Joe Hisashi is back for the music. The story and general director is back. The character designer is back. I mean, it's just, that core is still there. Now, you're not going to get the animated cutscenes. Those are cut. Those are gone. But I mean, you can see from the trailers that the game itself does look good enough to support the cutscenes and support the story and still give you that same feeling, the same animation style. It's still all there, even without the specific animated cutscenes. So the gameplay itself that you're seeing on the left, probably not the best way to demo this game. I'm not sure if I had a better long-range attack. It took me a while to really get a sense of how this game was working because it's very different. The combat in the first game wasn't amazing. It was that Pokemon-esque sort of thing where you had the familiars. The familiars are gone. That whole system is gone, which is going to be a huge change for this series. Probably for the better. I think that was maybe one of the weaker aspects of Ni no Kuni. I think the story was really the best part. And just the overall atmosphere and animation and everything like that. So the combat wasn't great, and they're demoing it here with a straight combat scene. At least we got to try the different combat, though. It was interesting to see all of these changes, and just the fact that this is real time. This is just real time. There's no turn based. There's no nothing. There's no familiars. It's you and your other characters doing the fighting yourself, using button presses, and they react immediately. So the little creatures that are running around are kind of like the familiars, but not really. They're called Higgledies. They're helper sprites. They have different elements. As you can see, there's some fire type and some water type, essentially, that do different things. They'll heal you, they'll attack, they'll give you a shield, stuff like that. So, any of these sort of magical spells that you see me performing, that's using these Higgledies. And so they help you out in combat, but they don't do the combat for you. But, I mean, the combat, like I said, isn't the biggest part. So really, for me, it was more just seeing that the Ghibli spirit is still there in this game. You can see that from the trailers, but knowing that it is still a big part of the development team and a big focus for them was important for me. And I definitely got that from the team. But this is, I mean, it's a totally different game. You're in the same area, this main character, whose name I think is Aaron, um, is the king of Ding Dong Dell, or he would be, but there's some trouble. So he's trying to become the king of Ding Dong Dell again. Uh, so you're still in that world. But everything else is different. All the characters are different. Drippy seems to be gone. The new character is Lofty, who is Evan's Kingmaker. This boss battle is with the Kingmaker of another kingdom. Apparently, in order to become a king, you have to get a Kingmaker, and it's a creature that you form a bond with, and that bond becomes very strong, and is sort of integral to the game. The game also has a different mode, so you're trying to become the king of a kingdom, and so essentially Evan tries to prove that he can do that by building a kingdom. So you are off on your adventure, and you recruit people to come and join your kingdom, and you're building it up as you go on this grand adventure. We didn't get to see that. It was really just a single screenshot and kind of a description, but it seems like that will be sort of the meta game, what you're kind of dealing with as you go on this adventure. So you won't have familiars to deal with, you won't have any of this stuff, but you will still have a deep system to manage with this Kingdom Maker. I mean, overall, I was very happy with this presentation, even if I wasn't super happy with this demo, but that's, I think, just because of the portion of the game that they decided to show. But the game is gorgeous. I mean, at least that does show through in this. The effects are amazing, the animation is amazing, character designs are fantastic. It's all got that same spirit of the first game and of Studio Ghibli. So if you were a fan of that first game, you definitely need to keep an eye on the sequel. I think a lot of the fear and reservations that people might have had should be put to rest. Still, of course, don't just jump on board completely, but the team definitely seems to understand what that first game accomplished and what this sequel needs to accomplish as well. So I was very impressed. I think that they're doing a good job, and hopefully this video has helped you decide whether or not Ni no Kuni 2 is something that you should look at. If you didn't play the first game, you definitely should. It's only on PS3, but you can go out and grab a PS3 and play it, because it was a fantastic game. I was a huge fan of it, especially if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli or Level 5. So that was Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom. We have a ton of stuff from E3, so please check out the channel, youtube.com/fanboyattack or attackofthefanboy.com for news, impressions, everything. So thanks for joining me.